Hi, I'm Dr. Denney from Tanner Healthcare for Children. One of the most important jobs we have as parents is to ensure our children are safe. One of my biggest goals as a pediatrician is to support parents in this role, and that includes car seat safety. Did you know that motor vehicle crashes are the second leading cause of death for children over 4 years old? Each year, thousands of children are injured or killed in crashes, and this is often due to improper car seat utilization. To help parents and caregivers in our community learn all they can about car seat safety, we've partnered with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and Safe Kids Cobb County to put together this instructional video. Let's hear from Deputy Kent Evans about the proper installation and use of rear-facing infant car seat.
Good morning, my name is Deputy Kent Evans. I work for the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. This morning we're going to be going over some of our child safety restraint seats. This first one we'll talk about is a rear-facing infant seat. This here is our training doll. So some important things about this style seat is you want the straps to be at their shoulders or below their shoulders across their back when you set them down into the seat. The next big thing is the clip that goes across. It needs to be at armpit level. And then the last big thing is a pinch test. So you'll pinch the actual strap. You want to get the gap out from underneath it in between your child's chest and that strap. All right guys, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our base in here. We've taken our car seat out of the base. We put our base into the seat. We want to go ahead and start getting it level right here in the beginning. So if you see here, we've got bubbles on our car seat. This car is the seat is pretty flat, so it's already level. But if it wasn't level, we would use these buttons and we could raise this to get that bubble right. But in this car specifically, it's already in between the two lines to be level. So the acronym we like to use when we're putting in a car seat is BLT, buckle, lock, tighten. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull our belt out. And we're going to run it through the correct belt path that the manufacturer and the booklet tells you to. So we go under, over, and then back through. And the next thing we want to do is make sure that we get it into the right buckle. So we've got it buckled there. And the next thing we want to do is it's locked in. So now we're going to tighten. So I'm going to hold down and pull and cinch that down really tight. Once I've done that, and it's nice and tight in there, I bring my belt out, and on this specific car seat, it's got a locking system already on it, on the seat. So it's locked in from right here. You see that? So the big thing we like to tell people is once you've got it locked in, you want to check. Do you have more than an inch of movement closer to the seat? If you have less than or more than an inch of movement, that's a problem. This side's going to absorb the impact force in a crash. This side you want to be really tight. That's going to keep it snug to this seat. So with this one, it's less than an inch, which is good. All right guys, so another way that we can put the base into the car is by using our lower anchor points instead of using the seatbelt coming through and across and into the seatbelt buckle. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to look on our car seat and see where our lower anchor connectors are. So on this specific car seat, they're right here on the side. What you're going to do is you're going to take that out, and you want to take it out the exact same way that it goes in. That's the way that's going to go and connect to our lower anchor point. You don't want to turn it upside down or sideways or anything like that. You just want to go straight into the seat. So when we look on the bottom of the seat, we see these little buttons, basically showing you that directly underneath this is where our lower anchor point is. So we take that connector and we stick the connector in between the seats until we hear that click. We do that for both sides. Once we hear that click, we know that they're good and connected, and you can pull on them if you want to, if it makes you feel better. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come up top on the base. I'm going to grab this strap here. I'm going to put my hand on top. I'm going to cinch down. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on the top of this base because I want it to be tight, just like before. This part closer to the seat needs to be tightened down all the way. You don't want any more than an inch of movement on this side. So now that is a pretty easy way to go ahead and get it with the lower anchor points and secure the base into the car. Make sure you refer back to your car seats manufacturer and the manual. 99% of the car seats, you are not going to use both the seat belt and the lower anchor points together. You're going to use one or the other. Now that we've got this base in, let's go ahead and get our car seat and get that put in. All right, guys, so now we've got our baby inside the car seat. So a couple of things that we want to look at are where our shoulder straps are. So if it's the shoulder straps where they come out of the car seat in the back, it should be at or just a little bit below your baby's shoulders. So on this one, on this baby doll, it's right there at the shoulders, which is good. The next thing we want to look at is, once we get it good and tightened down, is where our connector here is at. We want it right underneath that baby's armpits, or in line with that baby's armpits. The last thing that we're going to want to look at is, you can push this back if you need to. We're going to do our pinch test. So if you can pinch any part of this seat belt or the strap, then that's no good. You don't want to be able to pinch and have a lot in there. So I'll show you what that looks like by loosening it. So if your baby's in there and it looks something like this, and you come in and you pinch and you have all this extra space, that's not good. Because with that extra space, if you were to have an accident, your baby can move around and your baby can come out of that car seat if you're not careful. So we want to get it good and tight. That connector across the armpits, our shoulders in line, our straps in line with our shoulders, and no pinch there, and you should be good to go. Now that we've done all that, just remember, at or below, you're good to go on the shoulder straps. Our connector right at the armpits. And with our pinch test, you don't want to have any gap in between your shoulder straps. All right, guys, so I'm going to bring my baby in. I'm going to set the baby into the base. I'm going to hear a bunch of clicking going on. So for this specific one, our manual tells us that we need to put the handle down. Okay, so I want to get it to about right there and lock it in. Check your seat's manual. Some say that they need to be up, some say they need to be down. This specific one is down. If yours does say that it needs to be up, make sure there's nothing hanging from that. I know there are a lot of different companies that sell, little things that hang down for the baby to play with and kick at and stuff like that, but in the incident of a crash, those become projectiles inside your vehicle that could end up hitting your baby. Another big thing to look at is where our seat is in reference to our car seat. This one specifically says there needs to be a little gap, so that's what we have here. So that's it for our rear-facing infant seat. If you have any questions, reach out and we'll be glad to answer any of those for you at the Sheriff's Office or at Tanner. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Evans, for that helpful information. If you need help installing your child's car seat, visit the National Child Passenger Safety Certification website to find a certified technician near you. If you have questions or want more information about keeping your little ones safe and healthy at home or on the go, contact us at Tanner Healthcare for Children. Thank you.